there's a population out there with people who are ready to, who are waking up to the reality of things, of taking back their own health, of doing things on their own, away from traditional allopathic medicine.
I think a big thing is just talking about it too.
Like, because how would you have known? So let's just to go back to, you wouldn't have known I was here.
No.
You would not have known how, and it was I think it was a God wink. It was faith. It was not a coincidence.
No.
I don't think.
No.
I don't.
No. So, so during the whole recovery process, one day I woke up and I was like, I need to go to Walmart. And immediately I was like, I don't need anything at Walmart, but all right. They were working on some stuff at the house, whatever. So we'd been kind of cooped up for a while. So in my head, I'm like, all right, we'll just go to Walmart. We'll piddle around, see if I can find any stuff useful. So at the time I've got, full cast on this hand, brace on this hand. And I can kind of stand up on my own gun. I'm still, just not moving around so great. Like I can't bend over, right? And so this was one of the big catalysts for this, right?
Yes.
So my wife and kids go off and start looking at clothes and all this other stuff. And I'm shopping around the old people section, with like raised toilets and canes and stuff. And so I go down this aisle and there's like a vitamin that I normally took and I was a little low on it. And it was on the bottom shelf.
Of course it is.
Of course. When I can't bend over, right? And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna at least try to bend over, right? And so I kind of bend over halfway and I'm like, nope, not happening. And so this guy was standing there and obviously worked out. And he's like, hey man, you need a hand? And I was like, yeah, if you don't mind, would you mind grabbing that bottle? So that started about a 45-minute conversation.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it felt like 45 minutes.
Okay, guys, mind you, shout out to said guy who looks like he works out. He does, and he's strong.
Yeah, he's like
amazing.
A professional
power
lifter.
But also not the most approachable, and he knows this. But he doesn't talk to people often. Let's just say that.
But I mean, it was one of those things. Like I firmly believe it was. I was supposed to be there. He was supposed to be there, because it did. It started this conversation about TRT and already being on it, and had I ever thought about peptides? And I was like, well, actually, yes, I have thought about it, but I don't know too much about it. Whatever. And so like he started laying out all this other stuff. Gave me your contact information. And it was just like, bam, like
done.
Exactly. That was exactly where I was supposed to be, exactly when I was supposed to be there. And so was he. And we had the exact conversation we needed to have.
Yeah.
And literally from there, I took my cart, passed it off to my wife, went out and called you and made an appointment right then, but
if you had not, the thing is, if you had not heard it from an actual person.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I probably would have
done something.
Tried to do some research because it was already in my head.
Yes,
you know what I mean? But there's so much stuff on the internet.
Analysis paralysis is real.
Right, and I personally just don't. How would I say it? I'm not very trusting of things I read on the internet sometimes.
Sure.
And so like if it's like multiple sources and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is kind of, but like a lot of stuff is just all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially with stuff I'm injecting, like I want to know. I want to know what it is.
What you are injecting, of course.
And yeah, because there's some weird stuff out there, but yeah, so like the combination, I think, and it was exactly what I needed, right? So the combination of, a guy who's literally a professional athlete, in this realm,
yes,
and has experience with this stuff, and has also seen other guys have experience with super fast healing, and to be able to tell me about all that, and then, having our conversations about, what it actually does, how it actually works, what's the best, thing to, the best combination or whatever to do. It was exactly what I needed, and so like, I think that thing, if people were just willing to have that conversation, right? I think that a lot of people's lives could be changed for the better, right? And we know this because of my entire friend group now, right? So
we know this because it's happening.
Right, it is. And I mean, and it's not just the guys, it's the women too.
Yes.
And so like it's like it warms my heart, because it's like I'm seeing friends live better lives.
Huge.
You know what I mean?
It's
It's not like, okay, I'm seeing somebody on the other side of the country that I don't know.
Sure.
Like I'm seeing literally me and my friends, my close friends, live better lives. And like,
that's significant.
That's huge.
It's huge.
That's huge.
It's huge because you see it. And so the goal really is to make an impact on people's lives.
Yeah.
So that you do wake up every day living the life you want to live.
Right.
Because it's ultimate. If you
and that's different for everybody,
believe,
right? But I don't think anybody, when they were like teenage to early 20s, was like, you know what I really want to do? Is I really want to like be extremely overweight, not be able to play with my kids, not be able to go, do this or that, the other thing, not have any energy, be tired all the time, have a bum knee for the last 10 years, whatever, and then have all these other things that are exacerbating that problem.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure nobody signed up to do that intentionally.
Nobody aspires to.
Right. You know what I mean?
To be a couch
but
potato.
that's how life works. Like, unfortunately, like that's how things unfold. But I think for me, it's worth trying to encourage people. Like it's not too late to turn that around.
No.
You know what I mean? Just because like it's been 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years getting to where you are now doesn't mean you can't make changes in the other direction. And there's ways to do it, and there's stuff out there that can help.
So one thing that I'd want to ask too is, when you talk about, have you ever talked about testosterone with your regular provider?
Yes, numerous times.
Numerous times?
Yes.
Was it okay?
Numerous times over the years.
Was that something that they prescribed for you?
So no, I've always had to come out of pocket. So for me, it's the VA, right? So the VA has how should I put this? Their system for TRT.
Yes, what is that?
I'll kind of abbreviate the process, right? Sure. So basically what happens if you have to get tested, right?
Yes, of course.
And then so your levels have to be, I think it's like under 200 or something.
That's
right?
low.
Which for anybody that doesn't know is
that's
like
way too low.
It's like there's problems.
Yes,
right?
that's urgent. Yes,
like,
that's scary low.
Yes.
Below 350, actually high risk for prostate cancer, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, all that.
So, and it's not just that. So once you get, and they establish, okay, you're under that level, then you have to have subsequent tests like once a month.
What?
I think for up to like 6 months.
What?
To establish a baseline, right? And then, it gets better. And then, right? So from the couple experiences I've heard of people actually getting on it, right? Most of the time, what they will do is they will use something like Sustanon, or like a.
Do they use SARM still? Would they use?
No, they'll usually use like they'll use a testosterone blend, right? So it's
gotcha, okay.
But they'll administer like every 2 weeks,
right?
Or something stupid like that, right?
Yes.
So what it's actually doing is sending you on this roller coaster ride of like. Hormones going up and down and everything else.
Sure.
And it's actually making stuff worse.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because
it's like dangling a carrot in front of somebody. Like,
it's
you
like
could feel better.
The protocol, the actual protocols that work are not understood, and it's strange to me because it's not hidden information, right?
No,
like you don't
it
have,
isn't.
it's not like the Illuminati is not, covering this stuff up.
You sure?
Like, I mean, it's pretty,
That's where tests came from.
you can just you can Google it, like it's pretty there, but it's like, it's strange to me that there's still, and I've heard similar experiences, from other providers, just regular medical providers,
yes,
similar experiences where, and I've known several people that through their regular medical providers have gotten on testosterone, but the protocol they got put on, and it's
wrong.
It's because it's a lack of understanding of what the esters do and all that other stuff. It really is. It can be more harmful than it is helpful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not just, you can't, and I think, this is part of the education thing, is that, you have to understand that, okay, yeah, this thing can be very beneficial, but you have to take it correctly. You have to take it under a certain protocol.
It's the effectiveness of it.
Right.
Because
to make it work the way it's supposed to work. Because if you just randomly do something else, it's a hormone, man. It's gonna cause changes in your body, you know?
And I think, so then the misunderstanding there would be, okay, well, I gave them what they needed.
Right.
Just because you give them what they needed doesn't mean that you're helping them. It's one of those you're trying to pacify somebody so they stop. I mean, I actually had a patient the other day, 2 years. This guy has been on test for 2 years.
It's like handing somebody a bottle of Percocet with nothing on the label, no instructions on the label, and just be like, figure it out, bro. You know what I mean? Nobody would do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's like every medication you get is like, okay, you need to do this. You need to take it every 2 hours as needed, or whatever the instructions are, right? But for some reason, in the medical profession, when it comes to testosterone, it's like nobody can actually use the Google machine and be like, oh, what's the correct protocol for this? It's just like they're making stuff up.
Because every department
no, that's
is
not how
different.
it works. You can't just inject once every 2 weeks, man.
Oh, and there's another thing. This patient has to go in every 2 weeks.
Yep.
What? For what? Copay.
Right.
Because you're coming in, we're injecting you.
Right.
So not only are we not fixing you,
I'm not a responsible adult that can take an insulin needle and
inject. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So they really are, making the money off of that, the fear of. We're all about empowering people. Yeah. You can do it. Yeah. You've done worse things. Yeah. You can do an injection, or you can do a cream. Yeah. If you don't want to do an injection, do a cream.
Well, and I think a lot of some people I think are legitimately scared of needles or this, that, or the other thing, and
it's real.
It is. Mm-hmm. But it's like the injection stuff. It's not that hard. But yeah, find somebody in your area.
Correct.
That does what you do. Get your levels checked, and then get on a smart program, and then start talking about it. That's the other thing for the people that are already doing this stuff and have been doing this stuff for a while. And like I said, I've been just as guilty, and I've really changed my mind about that, here recently. But talk about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't gatekeep this stuff.
That's not
what I mean?
Don't keep
it's not. It's like, hey man, this is literally one of the things that's changed my life for the absolute better. I'm just not going to tell anybody about it.
Yes.
I
don't want anyone else to know,
doing?
Because then there's less for me.
What are we doing?
That is not.
And I think for a long period of time, there wasn't this stuff. It wasn't as, there wasn't offices like yours. There wasn't, the online, providers that were offering TRT and stuff like that. So anybody that was on it, we were getting